Hello and welcome to another What Is First Impressions video with me, Insamnohty. Today I am looking at Wrath, Aeon of Ruin, which is a early access released first-person shooter game made by 3D Realms, who you may have heard of before. I assume if you like old school shooters, you've probably heard of them before. They did Duke Nukem. But a thing that really interests me about this game in particular is it's an old school shooter made in the original Quake engine, which for many reasons is very dear to me personally as a guy who used to mod and make stuff for the original Quake game. Quake is one of my original favourite games. It's a game I go back to and play a lot because it has a lot of good memories for me. So I'm excited to see what they have in store for me using an engine I love a lot. Now, I did go in and have a mess around with the options and things, so I'll be pressing return here because I couldn't figure out how to clear my profile, but it is literally starting from the beginning of the game just like I saw it at first, so don't worry, you're not missing anything. Morning Vale. Now, I'm not sure whether to expect like a hub world or something like that. I adjusted the graphics settings a bit. I'll actually go into more detail about this because I love this about these kind of ode to original old school shooters that are coming out. They're very good at giving you lots of settings and things to play with to make it look like how you want it to look. So one of the things I've done is I've turned on software palette. Now, recently I played another first-person shooter called Dusk, which did all these options really well as well. I love being able to make it feel like I'm playing that old school shooting game and reintroduce some of the old limitations they used to have. So, software palette, if you don't know, basically it limits the colors back to what we used to have. So originally we couldn't display all the colours of the rainbow, we could only display chunks of that rainbow. So you'd get more of a jump between different colours. So if you look at this wall specifically, and I turn colour palette on, you'll see now there's a lot more contrast between each pixel because there's not enough individual colours to make a smooth transition between them. And I like that effect, it reminds me of that old school look. It also has pixelization, so you can have it running at the res of your monitor but make it look like it's pixelated. You can change the interpolation, which is the smoothness of the animations, which if you did mess with modding Quake before, you know interpolation was quite a hot topic for original Quake modding because of the way muzzle flashes worked in the Quake engine. But yeah, I've got all this set up now, so I'm gonna jump and see what's the actual meat and bones of this game. So I have a weird arm blade thing, which I appear to be able to charge. What's this? Helmet? Okay, that was armor and health. Hold right mouse and then release at the top of your jump. Oh, can I use the dash from this as like a jump thing? Well, that's pretty cool. Press and hold middle mouse to open artifact. I did rebind this to mouse 4. Oh, okay. Saves are an item. This is why saves are different. Okay, I don't actually want to use that yet then. Old school flames, I like it. Where are we? It's like this looks like a graveyard. It's cool looking. The music's done by Andrew Hochschild, which immediately makes me a big fan because I love his work. He's done such a good job on so many games recently. It's good. That guy rocks. I love you, dude. It's got more of a spooky atmosphere. Another thing I noticed actually while I was testing is, on Quake usually when you press tab it's just secrets and enemies, which it does have. It has secrets and relics and a time, but it has more of this Book. It's giving me more of that like Hexen feel, more like magic and mystery. I'm wondering whether this will get more puzzly. Or maybe this is a hub world. Okay, I stepped through a portal. This will either be bad or good for me. I kind of want one of those gauntlet voices. You are now entering the mire. What have we got here then? Slugs. Not the edible kind. Sorry, French fans. Zombies! Oh my god. This stab's kind of nuts. I'm loving the way they gib. Can I gib their legs? No, maybe they've been gibbed enough. Beaker of lifeblood. Is that a item? Armor shard. Nice. That was... Did you see that? For like a split second there was like a very small version of my screen in the top left. This is early access, so bugs are allowed. They have new monsters planned, new weapons, new maps specifically. Please say they're planning to allow modding and stuff, because this is the Quake engine and Hammer Editor is so easy to use. You could have so much fun making maps in games like these. I'm still waiting for the Dusk toolkit. I want to be able to make maps for these games. So hopefully they have that plan. Usually 3D Realms games are pretty open to modding, as far as I remember. And all the tools exist, they wouldn't have to do anything. Oh, what's this? Coach gun. Okay, so it's got like a single shot and a triple barrel. Interesting that it doesn't leave any decals on the walls, but that's fine. So if I charge this... I don't know whether I needed to do that, but it found me this. It was life-saving. Receive lifeblood from the slain. Ooh. Oh yeah, it said updated, didn't it? Fallen. Oh cool, so killing them gives you like funky concept art for them. Coach gun. Cute, I like that. Easy to use, I'm guessing? Yeah. Quake never had a use button, so... Whoa, that's some future in my Quake game. Oh shit, no. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Just because I like playing these games on hardest difficulty, and I remember when I was testing I didn't press hardest. So we're gonna quickly recreate my profile. Oh, damn it. Is there no way to like delete old profiles? Hopefully there's a way to delete old profiles at some point. I'm just gonna call it mock. Let's put it on hard and see how much this can challenge us, because I like it when these games kick my ass, so don't worry, I'll speed through this. I'm just worried because the current enemies aren't really doing anything to me. Also, I have a cat right next to me who may decide to jump over the monitor at any second. Back to the mire. Let's see what difference hard makes. Will it be more enemies? Will it be The classic, well, the way they did it in Quake was harder difficulty was more enemies, because they didn't really have scaling damage and things like that. Oh dear, cat's gonna get in the way of the screen. Love you, Callum, but you're a pain in the ass. Oh, there you go, my ginger friend. Please no. Right. It does say there's secrets on the maps, which is always good. Hopefully I can locate some. Just to see what kind of secrets we're looking at. Spent a bit doing a look at the gun animation, fair enough. Oh, I didn't even have to do this. That jump mechanic's actually pretty cool, because you can wait for a bit and then redirect your jump with it. I like that a lot. That works very well. See, people remember Quake as being more of the atmospheric horror shooter, so I'm expecting more, oh, hello. Who are you? My aim is all kinds of off. I can get up there. However, could go down there. Does this do anything? Pretty sure I was shot from behind. Can I use this to go up? Kind of. Hey, that worked. Secret discovered. One thing I will note, which would be nice, which is, it'd be nice if it was a little bit easier to adjust the mouse sensitivity. There's a bit of a jump you can't, like, do in between these two. And I find with mouse controls specifically, it's nice to have really tight control of how sensitive your mouse actually is. You get very used to a specific mouse speed playing first-person shooters, and the jump kind of throws me off. What I may do, actually, turn it to the slower one. Good way to check what kind of sensitivity you're on is to find an item in the room and spin your mouse and see how long it takes you to face that item again. And that'll give you an idea of what you're working with. These guys remind me of the Wraiths from Quake. They work very similarly. They're not doing much damage to me. Oh, hi guys. Oh my god, my cat is a fiend! I love you, Callum, but go away! Playing video games. It's interesting that they give you saves as items. That's very different. Oh, his arm came off way before he died. I like the monster designs visually. They're not really challenging me yet. Although I am taking damage. I can't tell if that's hit scan or bullet travel. Hit scans when the enemies can hit you just by seeing you. Bullet travel is the projectile actually slowly coming towards you, for anyone who doesn't know. Okay, a good old shotgun is always a nice find. What is that? I have a feeling he was about to lob that at me, so I'm glad I killed him. Ooh, you can pick up his cysts. I am a collector of tumors. I feel like I should have got hit for how long it took me to react to it. Yeah, this shotgun feels pretty good. Yeah, this shotgun's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, Jesus. I need to stop falling on this bit. I like how the secondary fire of this gun slows you down for a bit and you get more of a delay before you can fire again. Oh shit, I'm out of shotgun shells. I wonder whether there's a harder difficulty that's hidden. So, on original Quake, you had easy to hard. This is hard. Of course, this isn't really like a spiritual successor to Quake or anything like that. It's just made in the Quake engine. Although, it seems like they've taken a lot of the other spirits of that in terms of it's more of a horror atmosphere, the music's more atmospheric. So I'm wondering whether they took other notes from Quake, like hiding the hardest difficulty on the map. Because you had to find Nightmare difficulty on Quake, it wasn't just given to you. I have a lot of love for the Quake engine. Sorry 3D Realms, I know you're more Duke Nukem, but I'm a Quake boy. Thank you for making more Quake style games. Oh, interesting, you can... Oh, did that actually work? Oh, Jesus! Fucking hell. Hi. Hi. Oh, God, you're actually terrifying. What the fuck was that? That thing was terrifying. Okay. I like that enemy. I feel like they're being really forgiving on the damage. If there's a hidden nightmare mode, I need to know, because at the moment I feel like I should have died for some of the things I've gotten away with. It's throwing a lot of health and armor at me as well. Maybe I just need to get to later levels? Say, I've got to have found more shotgun shells by now, right? What the f... There's something hidden behind the flag. Okay, what's Cruel Aegis? Exchange life bud for invincibility. Yeah, sure, try it. That guy. I think this is about to run out. Okay, these weird rooms are kind of cool. They're funky looking too. Oh Jesus, I didn't realize how much life that actually exchanged. I'm on 10 hit points now. Was that really worth it for invincibility? I suppose it's more of a case of if you're almost dead, you use this. I probably shouldn't have popped it immediately. Let's see if you find stuff in jars. Yes, you do. Neat. I should probably go get myself some health. Just because I accidentally killed myself. Yeah, a couple of pots, I'm already pretty much back at full. Good. he got the same blade as me? That looked a lot like my blade. Who are you, crazy lady thing? Scream like a lady. Scream like a lady. Wraith. I assume that's the floaty guy. Afflicted. Those are the ones throwing tumours at you. Widow. That's probably the lady who just screamed at me. I want to call him Intruder, but he's called Invader. Heretic and Stricken. I'm liking the monster designs. Visually, they're really cool. They kind of remind me... Some people might dislike me for this, but they kind of remind me of the Strogg, but with more of a medieval aesthetic than a future aesthetic. Which is probably what the Strogg should have been to appease more traditional Quake fans. But I actually really like the Strogg as designs. I always thought they were a cool idea. Basically mad scientists who take every race and install their language and ideals into them through machines. It's pretty fucked up and I like it, it's cool. Sorry buddy, gonna have to do harder than that. Ooh, what is this? Fang Spitter. Okay, so I've got a dual shot. Every weapon seems to have alternate fire, which is cool. This is a hell of a machine gun. This is nail launcher. 9-inch nails. Great band. Great gun too. God, that sound effect! Dun, 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 dun. That's a hell of a noise. Oh, he's got a lot of health. Not very hard to dodge though. Oh, these guys. These guys are definitely the trickiest enemies so far. I like these guys. These guys seem to pose much more of a threat than most. Which is what you want. You want monsters to be threats. A lot of what helped the atmosphere in Quake was that you knew that if you didn't respond to the monsters right, they were probably going to do something to you pretty quickly. Like, a thing that helps the more horror atmosphere in a lot of these games is when the monsters are actual threats, because then you become scared of them because you're like, oh shit, if there's one of these around this corner, I'm going to lose some health. And I don't want to lose health because that's going to lead to me being dead. I'm assuming Red Glyph is probably a key. Yeah, I like those guys a lot. So far, they are the best enemy. Those, like, Beholder guys. They are genuinely threatening. Okay, those guys are hit scam, but the good thing is there's an animation before they fire, so you could hide before that happens. What the fuck is this thing? Oh, this is going to use their assists. I assume... It's like a grenade launcher, but... not? That functions a bit too much like the machine gun. I felt like that should have been more of a grenade launcher. The AoE's a bit limp. Cool looking, though. I love the visual of the weapon, I just feel like it could have... I'm not sure whether I killed myself more there. What's Soul Tether? I can't seem to click on any of these. Oh. Is that because I didn't save? It's actually just got restart level or depart. Okay, let's load mod again and try going through a different portal for a different level. Can I step back through? I can. That makes it quite open-ended that you can just step back. Let's see if I can find another level to explore. What is this? This portal looks... Ah, it's probably locked. I wonder whether that's what I needed the red glyph for. Whether maybe red glyph made me able to go through red portals. Yeah, because look, that portal's got a red gate through it as well. Red gate. About this. What's this? Progress saved. Okay, so that's like a save point that doesn't need the skulls. Another one of those heart things over here. I think at the moment they said there's... because this was literally just released into early access. I think they said there was 5 levels currently. And they were talking about a bunch more levels being added in the future. Oh, there we go. Here's a different place to explore. I didn't want to take you guys through the same thing twice. Let's explore as much as we can. I just stepped back through the portal, didn't I? Ugh. Apologies. That was closer to me than I thought it was. That's what it should have done before. Maybe make it so you press E to enter a portal, instead of it just being you step into it. I don't know. That might just be me being dumb. It's early access, there's a lot of room for change. I see they very much monopolised on releasing this on the idea that Doom wasn't coming out though, which is a pretty good idea, because Doom's going to take the spotlight of first-person shooters when it comes out. You never know, it might not be as good as we hope, but it's still going to take the spotlight, no matter what it is. So, congrats on tiding me over. The blade charge is kind of amazing. I like that mechanically, and I like how you can use it to affect jumps. I'm surprised they all didn't start bursting. Oh, there we go. I feel like that should have happened a lot more immediately. Funny, they actually kind of remind me of the shotgun marines from Quake 2. They'd raise their shotgun like that, shoot and then drop. It's kind of a mix of them and the blade charges, the Strog unit. You know what, I think I'm wrong. I think there is travel on their bullets as well. Shells, shells, slugs and shells. This gun is shots, so where's my shotgun for shells? Leave me alone, zombies. I ain't got time to bleed. Okay, where am I going? And am I being stupid? Here we go. Shotgun! Yay! I like the sound as they teleport in. I was gonna say maybe it should be louder, but I realised I also have the volume turned down for the sake of you guys actually being able to hear me. So that might just be that. But the weapon noises are nice. I feel like this is really clearly modelled off the Doom shotgun. But you know, Doom kind of perfected the formula of a good shotgun, so you're going to take influence from anywhere. Probably Doom. Oh, I guess. You got shot in the back by your friend. I'd say I know that feel, but I don't have any friends. That's a lie, I have many friends. They're all in my head. Sorry, I do the self-deprecation thing a lot. Don't worry, I'm happier than I sound, I swear. Ooh, he shot me. I'm wondering whether that's maybe the difficulty they're going for, because the levels are seemingly pretty lengthy, which is nice. Big labyrinths of death and destruction to explore with lots of secrets and things. So the thing I always loved about old school shooters actually was the very labyrinthian nature of the maps, rather than like a big open world or something like that. They really took advantage of what you could do with a linear structured game by going, oh well, if our levels come one after another, what we need to do is make sure there's lots of deviating parts off the straight line with cool stuff to find, and maybe they can get lost, but it'll slowly lead them to where they have to go. I don't know, old school level design was bloody incredible, and I kind of miss it. I feel like a lot of new age shooters miss out a lot on what actually made maps like these great. No, I'm gonna do, just because I should probably make use of it. Let's make sure I can actually... Ooh, that's kind of cool. It leaves behind like a marker of where I saved. I'm gonna try and actually complete this level, and then that'll be where I wrap the video up, I think. Jumped a big snowy outside place. It's filled with enemies. La 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 la. It's never not going to be satisfying just going around with a big double-barreled shotgun, kicking the shit out of waves of enemies. Kinda looks like the start zone. It's making me a little bit lost, I'll give it that. Is there a map? Probably not. What am I thinking? I mean, if you're about to tell me old school shooters didn't have maps, then you're wrong, because Doom had a map. Doom actually had a really good map system. I liked the way Doom's maps worked. The way it revealed the walls as you saw them and built the map off of that. That was a really smart bit of programming. Whoever did that, 10 thumbs up. I don't have that many thumbs, but I'm sure I can borrow some. Because I walked through his blood. I think the blood he left behind was acidic. I'm gonna test it on that guy. No? Yes? Doesn't look like it. I wonder what hurt me then. Don't mind me just running in circles. Ah, well, if I wanted a labyrinth, I've definitely got one, because I'm a little bit lost. Let's try this area. Doorways that glow usually mean good things. No, thank you. I'm spawning in zombies behind me. Cheeky. Oh, if you blow them up too close to you. Okay, that's a good way of doing those guys. I like that. I'm going to sound like a glutton for punishment, but I think the main thing I'm getting from this so far is that even though I'm on hard difficulty, a lot of the enemies don't feel as threatening as they should. I've got to remember I've played a lot of games like this though, so I'm definitely pretty experienced, but if any of you guys manage to find a harder difficulty or a nightmare mode, or if the devs end up seeing this, I would like you to hurt me harder. Or hurt me plenty, I should say. So feel free to add a difficulty that kicks my ass more. I think the main thing is, I think it might benefit from the enemies being a little bit faster to fire. You're giving me a lot of time to react to them. Like the guys with the shotguns, I can see them for a long time before they shoot, and the same with like the zombie that was at the side of the doorway. I had a pretty good amount of time to react before he hit me. And they didn't hit me for much either, but I feel like maybe ramp up their speed before you ramp up their damage. Because I think that might do a lot for the pacing of this game, is if the monsters were just a little bit faster. Just in shot speed, not necessarily move speed. I say as I get hit by many things. Holy crap, what are you? However, I thought those flying beholder guys were pretty perfect. This guy seems reasonably deadly. He didn't seem so bad. He could charge at me. The thing is that the enemies I'm encountering the most, your gunners, your zombies, and your exploding zombies, I seem to just be mincing through them without them really posing any sort of threat to me. Oh, they just explode when they're near you, okay. They'll gladly kill themselves. I'm gonna say all this stuff about difficulty and then I'm gonna die. And then you're gonna laugh at me. Oh, he wants it harder and he can't even win. What is wrong with him? It's true, I'm a glutton for punishment. Lewis gets on my case all the time about it. It's like, why are you playing it on the harder difficulty? You're just gonna make it more painful for you. It's like, a part of me wants that though. A very dark, horrible part of me, but that part of me wants me to suffer. I'd say if you speed up the well, if the enemies are sped up, I think that'll just be good all round because it'll make them more a threat. But have the damage that it is now be the nightmare difficulty and then lower the damage for these difficulties? I don't know. I'm not the king of balance, you'll figure it out. Why am I suggesting how to do these things? I made mods, I didn't make games. I say I made mods, it's more I made map packs and weapons. I suppose that counts. That guy really likes to be in your face. Good shot. Surprised to not hear the music ramping up in more dramatic moments as well. Like having a faster paced beat for when a lot of monsters appear, but I realised Quake didn't really do that either, so it might just be the atmosphere they're going for. If they're going for the more atmospheric horror, I'd definitely ramp up the threat of the enemies. I'm an idiot. Why did I run at him? I've still got save equipped. Save. Got like 7 of them, why not? These maps are huge. I gotta say, when they said 5 levels, I was like, that's not that many. And then they were like, oh, we're adding a level per like content update. But if this is the size of the levels, I can kind of see why. Might also be a good reason to add like a map. A map that reveals like Doom, because I think that's cool, yes. But this is end up going to be the same length as my Rune video. Really didn't mean it to be the same length as my Rune video. Ah! I thought the levels would be a lot more straightforward and I'd be able to win and go, that's the game guys, bye bye! That's a save point. What's this? It's a teleport. Now go back, please. I was trying to do that. For some reason, my brain went to some other game where I was like, I'll have to press the melee button while I reload. This game does not have a melee button. This looks like something promising. Hi, guys. Oh, hi. Spawning zombies behind me is cheap. But to be fair, it reinforces the idea that enemies can spawn all around you from the beginning, so... Can't really complain. What is this place? Do I need like a red keycard to open this or something? Is the level really still going? God, there's bits over here as well. Can't kill them out of the portals. Unexpected. Is that the start? Can't tell. There's not really a recognizable landmark for me to get that as the start. Thing with big maps is it can get hard to tell where exactly you are without landmarks to like place yourself in the level, which is why either a map would be useful or some more like recognizable locations. Okay, these zombie ladies are a lot faster. They scary. I hear a lot of groaning. Hello, big hole in the ceiling. Hope you'd be dead already. Oh boy, it's one of those guys. Okay, more of those guys. That's fine too, I guess. Oh, Jesus. They're a threat. This gun. I think it's trying to get me to rely more on these. Like the fact he wiped his hand on it, I was like, oh, that's gross. I like that, you use the rune that gives you lifesteal for a while. That's actually really cool. I like these items. Oh, that's cool. You see little spirits come out as well when you use it. Yeah, I don't get why this gun feels so much like the other guns. It looks and arcs like it should be a grenade launcher, but there's not really much of an explosion. And then its alt fire is just like a triple shot. I don't know, it doesn't stand out as a different weapon. Kind of like how the second fire on this feels like a shotgun blast as well. Like that is almost exactly the same as that. You want your guns to like differentiate from each other a lot, especially in a game where you hold all the weapons at once. You want to give players reasons to switch weapons. Like, this feels like it's a long-range gun for sure. I mean, look how good range that triple shot is in comparison to this, which will spread like no one's business. Although I realise, ooh, this has a charge shot. That's kind of cool. This gun's great, the 9-inch nail gun, or whatever it's called in this, but it's a nail gun. It's got good impact. The second shot, I can't tell what the advantage is versus the first shot, but the sound effect is goddamn awesome. This gun, I just kind of feel like this one's a bit weak. Double barrel shotgun is a double barrel shotgun. If I had complaints about this, that'd be weird. But I will say, I don't know when I'd use the charge shot. I assume it just does more damage. Not enough to give one of those in one hit from that distance, though. Thank you, love. Oh, hello, my favourite deputy. I was gonna say, did that go through him? Now it's like trying to sit on top of my head. Oh, this room's trying to kill me for sure. Let's switch to this gun. This gun definitely does more damage, to be fair. Like, it's definitely a stronger weapon than the others. Although, because there's so many of these guys, I have a lot of ammo for it by the time I get it. Oh, hello. These maps are goddamn ginormous. Does this bounce off walls? It does. I wonder whether you could use that. I feel like it'd be easier to use if I had some explosion radius. I really expected this to be a grenade launcher. I don't know whether I've got that point across yet. I apologise. I've said it a few too many times. Holy shit, I'm like back at the start of the map again. Oh, fucking sweet. Okay, that's what I missed. I didn't pick up the really obvious route. Oh, shit. Are you serious? Did it really give me from that house? I think both times I've died from having one of the green guys spawn on me. Which is a bit... like, I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I say I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel good about that. That doesn't feel like a fair death. Like the fact he just immediately explodes after spawning on me. Or just the fact he's spawning on me in general. Like, enemies teleporting in is all well and good. That's pretty standard. but that felt cheap. You know what, I'm gonna leave it at that. This game is very early access, so if anything, I want to come back to it when it's complete, because I much prefer playing games in the state where the developers are like, this is the finished product, this is our vision completed. I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement in this, but there's also a really good base. Visually, I think the visuals are great. If there was any complaint I would have, it's with the size of the maps, there maybe needs to be more differentiation between the areas, because it's very easy to not know what part of the map I'm in anymore, because lots of the sections end up blending into each other. The enemies, they're alright. Again, visually, I love them design-wise. I think they're awesome looking monsters. I think a big chunk of them aren't very threatening. And I would include the exploding green guys in there. Mainly because I really hope them spawning on you and insta-killing you by exploding is just a bit of a leftover and not actually intended. Because that feels cheap and unnecessary. If anything, yeah, no, there needs to be more warning of them coming in, or, I mean, there's already quite a big warning, it's just, it's hard to keep track of when there's like 10 enemies spawning in at once in a room, and you're like, I've got to get to a position, and it just so happens the 1 in 10 of those enemies you ran next to spawn in was an exploding guy, so you died instantly. I'm a bit salty about that, I will admit it. I think a lot of stuff could be sped up. In terms of the enemies, my big complaint is a lot of them are quite slow paced, which really doesn't match your movement speed. And I feel like if you increased their attack rate, and maybe even sped up some of these attack rates, like this, and the secondary shot on this, got rid of some of the, I don't have it anymore, but the launcher after the triple shot had quite a bit of delay, and after the single shot as well. You could maybe lower some of the delays and increase the speeds of some of the enemies to make it so your reaction times mattered a bit more. I found I could step into a room, see all the enemies, and kill them all very quickly before any of them even tried to shoot me. Like, a lot of the damage I was taking was when there was big rooms full of enemies and a bunch more spawned in and I got unlucky. And that shouldn't be a word I'm using. It should be my fault that I took damage. And a lot of the enemies have a good basis for that, in that they're not using hit scan, their attacks are pretty well choreographed. The floating air guy could maybe be a bit more choreographed, but that's really minor, complaint-wise. Music's by Andrew Holsholt, so I love it. It's very atmospheric. It'd be cool to have some more of the action-y tracks. I don't know whether he's still able to do more music for you guys, but I would recommend, if there's scenes where you get locked in rooms with lots of enemies or something, maybe kicking up the pace of the current track a bit could be cool. But it feels more like they're going for the atmospheric horror shooter, which is what the original Quake went for. And in terms of that, visually, sound design-wise, music design-wise, they've pretty much nailed it on the head. I think a lot of the stuff that I'm having problems with here is very tweakable and very fixable, and I'm very much looking forward to see where this goes in the future. This is something that is pretty good, and it very easily has the potential to be something great. Thank you for watching me play for an hour. Again, I apologise that I always do these so long. I thought the levels would be shorter and sweeter. I was really expecting more arcadey. These are big, sprawling labyrinth levels, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually a pretty great thing. If they give me maps and landmarks in the areas, or some way to differentiate between the zones, I'm gonna love exploring these worlds. If there is a nightmare difficulty, by the way, and I didn't find it, please tell me, because I'd love to see what that's like. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been my first hour or so of Wrath. I've been Insamnohty. Feel free to check me out on Twitter at Insamnohty. I do comic books and art, and sometimes I stream. Very rarely at the moment because I'm working mainly on a comic book, but you can see me around there. And stay indie credible. Bye, guys.